Kyrie Irving is quietly having one of the most impressive seasons of his NBA career. His production next to Luka has been ridiculous, as he's averaging 25 points to go along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. But to me, the most impressive part, as I always say, is the insane efficiency. He's hitting on nearly 50% of his looks from the floor while shooting it just over 40% from three-point range. And for him, with the degree of difficulty on the shots he takes with those contested looks and impossible to make layups, those shooting splits are virtually unreal. And the honest truth about it is that it's been that way for his entire career. Through his career, he's been known as one of the NBA's best tough shot makers, probably the best tough shot maker after Kobe left his prime, and he's done it all with unreal efficiency. Through his tenure in the league, he's 47% on his shots and 39% on his threes. Literally everything he does from a scoring standpoint is an A+. There are zero weaknesses for him in that area. And how many players in league history are like that? Relatively undersized with a dribble and finishing package that's amongst the league's best year in and year out, along with a dangerous three-point shot. Only other guy I can think of would be Iverson, but even with him, he didn't possess the efficiency and the ability to knock down shots from range quite like Irving. And there's obviously Steph, but I don't think Steph is as great of a ball handler and finisher as Kyrie is even now. And then the next thing to be so impressed with, especially this season, is his durability. Obviously, as he does every year, he's fasting for Ramadan, and while I never want to make that about basketball, the fact that he's on a fast playing unreal minutes and still going off like this is insane. Through his fast, the Mavs are 3-1, and he's putting up 27.8 points and 8.5 assists on 53% shooting. All of that without a minutes restriction. As a matter of fact, the other night, Jason Kidd wanted to pull him from the game to try to give him some rest, and he denied that request. And I love that he's reminding everyone of the elite player that he is at 32 years old, showing us that he's still got a ton of mileage left in him. There seemed to be this notion that Kyrie was falling off a bit, especially after his stint in Brooklyn. I can understand that a bit due to his availability. When he was in Brooklyn, the most games he played in the season was 54 in 2021. And the last time we saw him in the postseason was a while ago, and that was 2022, where he had a really rough performance against the Celtics. And then around the middle of last season, there was this new idea that there was no market for Kyrie Irving. We were hearing that teams wouldn't be willing to trade for him for a million different reasons. Then Mark Cuban and the Mavericks took a major swing at trading for him, giving up a ton of defense. But their idea was that a duo of Kyrie and Luka would be so good offensively, they could mask those defensive issues. And in the first season, things were a bit rocky as they missed the playoffs entirely, but this year they have been lethal. They've been one of the best offensive 1-2 punches I think I've ever seen, despite critics thinking that they wouldn't be a good fit with one another. And while they are teetering that line between being a playoff team and just a play-in tournament team, they've still been amazing together, and they're going to be so tough to stop in a 7-game series. And the thing about Kyrie we have to remember is if he's healthy in the postseason and in the right role, he's completely dangerous. We can't forget that he's done all of this on the highest stage. It's not like he's this super skilled guy who hasn't performed on a final stage yet. He had one of the greatest point guard performances in NBA Finals history back in 2016 when the Cavs made that comeback down 3-1 against Golden State. So he's already proven multiple times in his career that he's built for the playoffs. And while I don't love the Mavericks defense and I think it will present a major wall for them in the postseason, I still think trying to get an answer for Luka and Kyrie, who are both playing out of their minds together, is going to be one of the toughest tasks for opposing teams. And the good thing now is that they have momentum. They're more healthy than ever, and I really love their chemistry with one another. So let's see what happens for this team in April, but I'm really happy to know that there is a chance that we'll see the return of that dominant playoff Kyrie that we were so used to seeing back in his days in Cleveland.